Hello, everybody. I've got my trusty little sit squatch here with me, which I'll talk a little bit more about. Welcome to Counter with Katie. Sorry I couldn't come last night. My niece had a softball game and she did amazing. So I'm going to run the intro and then come back and talk to you about some stuff. Boom! Let's do this. Okay, I always like to show you my little, I guess it's the thumbnail in on YouTube. So I create these in Canva and I love doing it. And so I created this one yesterday because I was going to do Candor with Katie yesterday. And then I thought I'll just keep the same one. And sometimes I use my same picture and sometimes not. But I tell you, Sit Squatch is getting a lot of press these days. He's magical. He popped over to Albuquerque this morning and had coffee in the snow. Hello, Rick Kindle. Yo. And then hung out at WeWork today, and then I have some other stuff to share of his adventures. But I guess the girls up front had him sitting around up there, and one of the guys that rents an office there, like a super professional guy, they said it was just really funny, came in and he was like obsessed with him. So he found one for himself. And so now this guy has it there. So kind of cool. But lately I've been thinking about all this stuff, and we've been talking about Mercury in retrograde and all that stuff. And I apologize. He needed a little longer today. I got home later, so I had to take a quick nap. Have I ever talked about naps? Because I literally can take a 10-minute nap, sleep, slobber, and dream, wake up refreshed. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Today we're talking about what if thoughts and how they affect you. Do you guys suffer from this? And is it always a problem? No. By the way, I also have to say it was 71 degrees in my house this morning, so I closed up because the landscapers came. I'm so happy looking at my yard right now. And it's only 76 in here now, and I haven't turned the air on. Sorry, my allergies, though, are bad this week. So what are the what if thoughts? So, like, what is it, basically? So I got the information from here, the hannonclinic.com, and however you say that. I'm therapy, UIM therapy. Okay. So why do we have the what if thoughts? Sometimes it's to find information or to work through potential scenarios. Okay. But there's things that we do. And I kind of went through and put this down. Like, so what if I can't pay the bills? What if I lose my job? What if I get COVID? What if they don't like me? That kind of thing. It could also be from the past, right? So what if I had married so-and-so? What if I hadn't married so-and-so? What if I had taken that job? What if I had taken that other scholarship and gone to a different school? I wonder if that's a thought I've ever had. You think about all of these things and you think, and then sometimes it comes because you're at a point where you're just thinking, well, maybe my life isn't exactly where I want it to be. But then really take a step back and think about it and think about all the things that you wouldn't have had. And I'm going to talk about that again in a little bit. Okay. Do you guys have these kinds of thoughts and how do they affect you? Okay. So you can do fun and interesting what ifs too. I'm just going to mention these really quick and then I'll come back to it. What if no one hears a sound? Does it still exist? What if plastic was banned? What if there was no electricity for a year anywhere in the world? Could you live without electricity? What if you had no electricity? Could you live without it? What if we found live dinosaurs living on a remote island? Not just Jurassic Park, What if you could find a cure for a disease? Which one would you want to cure? So these would be like fun questions you could ask people or thought-provoking questions. What if you could start your life all over? What would you do differently? That's a very curious one. So what if comes about when we have overactive anxiety? So if you're anything like me and your brain's just running all the time, and I do this all the time. What if? And so a friend of mine, Riley, asked me, she asked in this group, what's a book that has helped shape your life or something? And I talk about it a lot. I should have brought it over here. The Power of Now, because We can learn from the past for sure. We can't beat ourselves up over something. We can't change it. So you got to get over it. You got to get past it. Not get over it in an insensitive way. So if you're working through some issues that are very serious, work on those. Get that done. Okay? Find some counseling, whatever it is you need to do. Did I put this up already? Okay. So it's fretting too much about the future, career, family, friends, lovers, health, the unknown, right? Like we worry about the unknown a lot, or lots of us do. So Brian says, I always tell myself that when I always tell myself I'm where I'm supposed to be right here, right now, and try my best to stay in the present. And that's so good. That's so good, Brian. We all need to do that, because it is hard. And listen, this isn't something you can just like change your thoughts. Boop, it's done. You have to like consciously think about things. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of stuff. And I'd like to get more, and I've said this a bunch, and part of it's the just who I am. I'm a procrastinator. I get busy and then I'm tired and I don't structure my time well enough. So maybe, what if I wasn't a procrastinator? What if I could actually follow the damn schedules in a day? We're all different, right? We're all different. But the one thing that we could have in common is taking control, okay, of our thoughts and emotions. Okay. I already put that up there. So how can we stop it and or reframe it? So a reframe is, and I've just did this exercise on Friday with the group. You're going to think I'm crazy, but it was basically like a release of stuff. So you're releasing all the things that you are ready to let go of, and then you burn it. Okay. So it's like, maybe it's fear, doubt, not feeling adequate enough, whatever it is. Okay. Then you burn it. And then we talked about all this stuff. And so if you've ever listened to people like Abraham Hicks is one of them, and they mention like it's too hard to be positive all the time. It's too hard to think positively all the time. And then sometimes you do something and you're like, oh crap, like you say something negative, you're like, I didn't mean to say that, and you feel like you have to take 10 steps back before you can even get back to here. Well, that's not true. So we talked about this on Friday. It was cool. So it's like, instead, stop yourself and say, oh, wait, I didn't mean that. What I meant was, right? So if I'm like, I'm just so frustrated, I'm never going to get organized and feel successful, right? So just reframe that to, wait a minute, what I meant was I am working on, I can't think of what it's like. I'm constantly improving, and my feelings, support that kind of thing, because when you do reframe stuff like that, you do start to feel better. Okay. So this is called mindfulness. This is one way to do it. Okay. So it's basically being in the present moment and reframing those overwhelming thoughts, just like Brian just said too. Okay. So take a moment to pause, take a step back, identify the worry that fills you, and then fills you. Is that what I put? The worry that fills you. Yeah. And then to respond to that question. Okay. So the what if question. Oops, sorry. If that outcome occurs. So your worst case scenario. Did I talk about this yet? Okay, so take a minute to pause, take a step back. What's the worry? So I'm afraid that I'm going to fail the presentation. Okay. And then respond to that question. If that outcome occurs, I will find a way to handle it. It hasn't happened yet. Therefore, I will not worry about it unless it comes. Now, like I said, it's not always easy to do this. Oh, we got another comment. Yay. So Brian says, toxic positivity is toxic. Gotta feel all the emotions, then learn, then move forward. Exactly. So, and I've talked about that before too. So this is not toxic positivity. It's reframing, because you do need to keep that focus on, you can't worry about something that hasn't happened. You can, but it's not productive to worry about something that hasn't happened yet. Okay. So to try and keep your mindset moving in a more positive way, not I'm going to fly to the moon without machinery and then get depressed about doing it, but really, really taking that step, and like it says here, and I will not worry about it unless it comes. So maybe it'd be healthy to put up some possible scenarios, but take it moment by moment and one stressor at a time, because that's what we tend to do. What if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? It's just a whole bunch of what ifs. Okay. So here's some other stuff. What's the worst case scenario? Number one. Okay. That this helps you stop the what ifs and face the worst case scenario. Usually doesn't end up as bad as you thought. Okay. Ask yourself, could I handle this? Yes. No matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. It may not be pleasant, and in some cases it may bring hardship, but whatever it is, you have the ability to handle it. So kind of like what Brian just said, it's really hard because you're not going to please everybody, right? But when you're in a situation and it's like you don't want this negative shit to happen to you, right? You don't want all of that stuff. But what can I learn from this? Okay, so that's like another way of turning it, because most of the time, I'd venture to gain, if you look back on your life and all the difficulties and the obstacles that you faced have brought you to where you are now, a better place. If it hasn't brought you to a better place, then that's what you got to start visiting. Why? How are you perceiving things? What are you working on? That kind of thing. Hey, Reggie, you're speaking about the same thing I did. Oh my God, really? Oh, you know what? I'll have to watch yours later. That's awesome. See? Well, that's because we've got the same brainwave today. But it's true, right? So Reggie was from Mash the Gas. Remember Reggie that did that podcast? Was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't even remember now. Okay, so I said, could you handle this? And then the last one is ask yourself, what's the best case scenario? Whoa. Okay, so this isn't best case scenario. I win the lottery and then I don't have any problems. Well, and that's not true either, right? So many of us rarely do this in the positive sense. We rarely look at something, think about it, and think, what's the best case scenario? Now, not to say that people don't, because a lot of people do best case, worst case. Okay. I think that's probably one of the most healthy things you can do is when you're in that spiral to stop. What's the worst case scenario? And then immediately think about the best case scenario. Okay. And then maybe think about how you would handle it in each situation. So if we have created the habit of, now I got to use my glasses on this one. If we've created the habit of creating what if situations in the negative sense, we can get into the habit of creating what if situations in the positive context, which I think is a really cool idea. Okay. So take the same scenario and see the best possible outcome and see how that makes you feel. So are any of you like me? Do you have thoughts? Do you think of things and you physically feel it? So, and I've talked about this before, like watching a movie, like I'm an empath. I am. Some people don't like the word. I don't care. It's who I am. I'm too caring sometimes. There are things that just absolutely torture me emotionally, and like things that happen in the world, and it's gut wrenching. And so I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about there? Oh, see how it makes you feel. So whether you're an empath or not, you can get a feel from something. So how do I feel about somebody asking me to do this thing? Or how do I feel about asking for this promotion or whatever it is, right? How does it make you feel? Take a second. But worst case scenario, best case scenario, how does it make me feel? Okay. So that doesn't have to take a long time. You can do that. You can do deep breaths and think about that. Okay. And then the idea is to feel good and remember that all of this lives in your own head, nowhere else. Okay. We all typically have the same struggles, but your issues are your issues, right? You're thinking in your head. Okay. So here's some things. Woo. Think about what you wouldn't have now. I talked about that already. Had you made a different decision in the past? So for me, for instance, let's say I think about the guys I've been with and I didn't get married and I didn't have kids. And then you're just like, well, what would my life be like? What could I have? What could it be? But then I think about all the things I'm doing. Like, I might not have ever left teaching. I might not be in real estate. I might not be doing these podcasts. Like, I might not have gotten to a point where I'm like, you know what? I am going to start doing shit for me, right? I love to help people and I love like being loved and I love laughing and all of the easiness and stuff, but that doesn't come without a lot of thought and a lot of decisions. So be okay with who you are. Like I said, reflect on the past, but then really think about where it's brought you, which is I think the cooler of all of these, the coolest part of all of these things. So think back and remember how many situations actually turned out better than you thought they would, and how much you learned from it. Okay. So, can I think of an exact, something you're afraid to do, public speak or whatever. Okay. Maybe you did it anyway. Maybe you weren't very good at it at the beginning, but then maybe you become this super confident person that is actually motivating other people to do stuff because you're out there putting yourself out there, that kind of thing. Oh, okay. You might not be a Celtic. Oh, I might not be a Celtic athlete. Exactly. I might not be, for sure. Might not be in the Highland Games. I wouldn't have gotten to go see Iceland, part of my motherland, right? Oh, I'm doing 23andMe, you guys, and I'll give you the results when I get them. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see. I think I'm like all Scandinavian, but it'll be interesting. And then, that was that one. Sorry. So that's the thing. So it's like, I'm not saying to not have regrets or not have the thought about it, but start thinking about what you do have now and what you wouldn't have had without it. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. Remember that you control your thoughts. They do not control you. Okay. So, and I love that Brian said that too, because this is that phrase toxic positivity is brought up a lot when we talk about, reframing and being positive and stuff. It's not doing that to the extent that you're not ever feeling bad or having negative feelings. It's knowing how to process this stuff and basically learn, be who you are, move on, and realize that it's not as bad as you thought. Okay. And then that future thing, man, I worry about stuff all the time, but we just can't, we don't know what's going to happen. Right. I mean, you're worried about something and you could get hit by a bus on the way to the presentation. You just never know. You could win the lottery on the way there and then you don't care. Like, who knows? We just don't know what's going to happen in the future. Okay. So final thoughts. I don't know if I can share this because I don't know if I did the screenshot right. So I just got a quote. What? Would like to record this computer screen. Okay, hopefully nothing happens here. Okay, well, okay, I can't share it. So I'll look at it real quick. Hang on a sec. It is, think of, this is in the way now. Think of the solution, not the problem. If your mind was filled only with thoughts of why you were going to lose, then you couldn't think of how to win. And that was a Terry Goodkind. I didn't look up who it is, but kind of cool, I think. Okay. So just remember, you guys, you're okay. You've got this. Do your best to live in the now, control your thoughts, as in think of the good things you have, and really try and, when you have that worst case scenario, put that best case scenario in there. Okay. And have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's Wednesday. Sorry about that, but I'll see you next Tuesday. The journey begins with you, so be good to yourself. This is from little Sits over here, Sit Squatch. I always think about, by the way, what if I just didn't do Candor with Katie anymore? But I just like doing it so much. Okay, Brian. Oh, good. I'm getting more comments. I like that. I'm with you. Not married, no kids. Like you, I've created a positive path for myself. When my mind wanders back, go right back to my positive path of thinking. I'm different. I'm doing my thing. I love what I do. I love that. I love that, Brian. Thank you. Oh, there's Bill. Love the glasses. You are awesome, Tate. Bill and I, that goes way back. I had a shirt on that said state and I've got boobs. So it said Tate and then the S was over here. So he's been calling me Tate since then. That's when we had the Browns and Bill lived here and we used to hang out. Hi, Julia. So, oh, cool. So I'm hanging out for a minute just to say hi. If you guys have any more comments, I'll tell you. I'll wait for a couple comments and then I'll end it because I already Sit Squatch already ended it. You guys, is he not adorable? Seriously. So I have, like I said, I have grumpy people that are like, okay, that's the thing too. Just be you. Maybe I'll just talk about that again. Just be you. Who gives a shit? You might think I'm weird that I'm an adult and I carry it, but like I said, this guy that's a major, suit and tie, businessman is obsessed and now has to have one of these, which I think is hilarious. Like Jason says, things could be worse. So embrace what is. Exactly. And that's the other thing too. There's a run of single people with no kids. That's you too, Reggie, right? Yes. Okay. I'm a big kid too. Exactly. And I'm never going to grow up either, Reggie. Like seriously, I'm just silly. And sometimes that gets in the way. I'm told I'm loud all the time. Whoa, you're like, don't talk so loud or whatever, my energy. But I just think that I'd rather live this way. I've been having struggles lately, big time. So when I'm speaking about this is stuff I'm dealing with, and this is the easier way to deal with it because we can find a better path, to do this. Brian, I need to go bowling. You totally do. He's in Colorado, and Bill, you're in Alabama, right? You guys are far away, but you know what? We should have a big party in the middle. Let's all just have a big party and meet in the middle somewhere, and we'll all just hang out. Wouldn't that be fun? So thanks for the comments. I waited for those. That was kind of nice. I love the interaction. And you know what? I'm still doing Candor with Katie. I talk about it a lot because I think, is anybody really interested? What if everybody stopped watching Candor with Katie? What if my views have gone way down, but then not at the same time? And so it just depends. Like there's so many things to do, right? But I love doing it. I love talking to you. I love sitting here with Sit Squatch. Brian says, meet in Texas. I'm free. Let's do it. Oh, Texas, because you're there. That's cool, Reggie. Yeah. So that is something. Maybe we'll do that, and everybody could meet somewhere. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, no more comments. Yo, you need to plan a trip to Oregon for the games up here. Ooh, I know. That's gonna be in the works. I gotta start doing some different games and like just going to some different places. I make friends everywhere I go, so it's like super fun. So guys, you're amazing, guys and gals, everybody, just everybody. just be you and just be kind, please. Just there's enough crap going on in the world. We just don't need any more of it, right? So do your best. Reframe those thoughts. Oh, I keep getting comments. This is great. Okay. Perfect time to go to Vegas and bet on the madness. Oh, March Madness? I know. Well, that's kind of soon, but right? Or do you just mean bet in general? I should just have a show where I come in here and talk. Do you ever want to do a thing where you guys have guests on here? You just want to come on and talk with me? Reggie, you've never come on and talked with me. You could do that. That would be fun. What? Okay, I'm going to end it now. Unless you have more comments. The journey begins with you. So be good to yourself. And Horgan loves you. Peace and love, everybody. Have a... Oh. See, I keep trying to end, and here it goes. Whee! Be best. Oh, exactly. What is that from? Be best. I love that. Be best, everybody. Be best. Love ya.